Acura once again is creating an anime for their Type S series. We have Chiaki's Journey Season 2 coming out for the Integra Type S, but we have other news we'll cover today, including Nissan going down its own path. I made a video not that long ago when Nissan and Renault had equal footing for the first time, I think, ever with the partnership. So that's happening. And we'll finish up with Hyundai. AAA are teaming up to help the customers targeted by thieves. Everyone knows about the Kia boys and the widespread takeover and commandeering of Kias and Hyundais. So without further ado, let's go ahead and press play on Chiaki's Journey number 2. So we're turning this into a full-blown watch party. We have all 4 episodes out. I didn't know that. I originally thought that only the teaser trailer was out, and we just watched that, and I actually edited and broke down the whole teaser trailer, talking about what we saw in there, what we could expect this season. Well, we have the full season here, and let's press play. I'm watching this at the same time you guys are, and we have 4 episodes. They're each about a minute long.
She's fast, just like her old man.
I gave you my answer at Long Beach.
I didn't come here to ask you.
If only you could ask her father.
We have to move on, man. There's an open seat on my team. Get out of her way.
That was fast.
Track record. See you at Pikes Peak, Chiaki. Welcome to the team.
Wait, Pikes Peak? For real?
Jackie, there's something you need to know.
Real quick, going back to the Acura newsroom, this is, if you're in California, head to the Long Beach Grand Prix this week, because they're going to have the anime versions of these cars. They're wrapped in graphics and decals that make them look like they're hand-drawn. Not only this, but also the NSX Type S pace car. But Uncle Noboru's garage from the anime series will come to life as a full-scale Type S garage at the Acura Grand Prix of Long Beach. Throughout the weekend, race attendees can visit Uncle Noboru's Type S garage, featuring the 24 brand new Integra Type S. So you guys, if you're in California, you'll be one of the first people to see the new Integra Type S. There'll also be Easter eggs from the new season inside the garage. So let's get into episode 2.
Your father was a great driver, Chucky. Together, we were unbeatable.
Better be faster than the storm.
He was our teammate. Just the motivation Ichiro needed. So I thought. We were young and ambitious, and we pushed our limits. Ichiro, this storm is crazy. We should
It's just snow. Melt it.
Why would you want to fight that mountain, Chucky?
To finish what Dad started. I need this. We need this.
One of my favorite parts about this episode is that we have the Integra Type R here, and they accurately depict the gauges and the 8,300 RPM red line on that monster, that legend. So anyways, let's get on to episode... Are we on episode 3 now?
We can overcome that mountain, Chucky. But don't underestimate it. Like a flower in a storm, you must bend with the wind. I'll give you all the grip, the precision, and the power you need. The rest is in you.
お父さん, this is for you.
So good. That's so sick right there. Well, she says, Dad, this is for you, right? But yeah, just the drawn graphics of this car is so cool. All right, let's get on to the last episode.
We're approaching the second leg.
The storm is crazy. I think we should slow down.
Trust me, I've got this.
Remember,
Bend with the wind. Bend with the wind.
She made it.
Yatta!
Jackie, you did it!
No, we did it.
The end question mark that ended. Okay, so the first season ended with this guy, the other crew member, coming onto the scene and it said to be continued. And so we have a love note to Ichiro. I think that was her dad's name. And we have some flowers to him, right? So I would expect there to be a third season when they bring out the RDX Type S. Yes, RDX Type S. When will that come? Well, it's not going to be a year from now. The new well, it could be. No, it's not. The new RDX is supposed to be out probably second half of 2024, and then a new RDX Type S, or first ever RDX Type S, the last gasoline powered Type S, probably would be my guess, in the spring of 2025. That's just what I'm feeling. I could be wrong. Hopefully it's moved up. I would love to see a new RDX before then. I just don't think it'll be happening that soon. So late 2024, new RDX, and the Type S probably spring 2 years from now. So we might not be seeing a season 3 of Chiaki's journey until 2 years from now, but maybe, hey, here's the thing. They could always, I don't know. Chiaki's journey is only Type S, right? So I don't know. I'll see you guys down below there, but we got to keep moving. If you enjoyed Chiaki's journey, thank you for watching. It was a lot of fun going through the watch party with you guys, but we need to move on to the big news coming out of Reuters with Nissan separating from Renault as much as they possibly can. All right, moving on to Nissan. We're over at Reuters. They say they have exclusive scoop here that Nissan is taking its own road without Renault and seeking a tech tie-up. Japan's third largest automaker by sales, right? It's Toyota, of course, Honda, and then Nissan. Now, some people say, well, Nissan's above them because when you add Renault and Mitsubishi Alliance together, they're like number 4 in the world. I think the Koreans just passed them this past year, Hyundai that is. So anyways, back to this. They're seeking a partner outside the auto industry to develop software that connects vehicles to cloud-based services. This sounds very familiar. We just mentioned Honda and Sony are working together, right? So maybe Nissan is trying to do some sort of similarity here with an outsider EV software startup. All right, 2 people involved in the discussion said without elaborating on candidates. So we have no ties here on who it could be. If you guys have any ideas, I doubt that they would be working with Sony because that's more of a Honda thing. In terms of software, I don't think Apple's teamed up with anyone, but I don't think Apple wants to team up with anyone either. Maybe they're teaming up with Google. We know Volvo and Polestar are really tied with Google as well. So I wouldn't be opposed to Nissan tying in with Google because I literally get paychecks from Google as I work on YouTube. And one of the sources said this tie-up would address a relative weakness for Nissan as it tries to make cars smarter and more connected. One of the sources also said it is working on an expanded strategy for an all-battery and plug-in EVs for North America and Asian markets that will be for Nissan alone. So not sharing that technology with Mitsubishi. Well, maybe Mitsubishi because they're both Japanese brands, but not Renault. And this reminds me of what's going on right now out there. EPA is turning up the heat on automotive EV goals. So check this out. If finalized, which good luck, because we know that the right-hand side of the government will try everything they can to not let this pass. If they do, if the government changes to a more right-led dominant government, then they could just overturn this like they did with the past administration. So it's just always like one step forward, two steps back, or vice versa with our government. Gotta love politics. But if the EPA had it their way right now, they would have electric vehicles on 2030 take up half of the new vehicle sales, and that's battery electric. How it is right now, my eyes are really itchy. I apologize for that. How it is right now is that plug-in hybrids and EVs are expected to make up half of the volume. Now they're pushing further. We want, well, I'm not saying we, but that's what the EPA, we want as the EPA, we want 50% battery electric by 2030. And 2/3 just 2 years later, how are you supposed to have that sort of ramp up? 50% to 66% in just 2 years? I guess it's possible. So with this sort of EPA radicalization of electrification, we need to get back to that Nissan article, because this might actually help them if things are supposed to go far more electric by 2030, mandated by the good old government. And revelations come as the Alliance Oversight Board met this week to discuss a rebalance that will see Renault cut its stake in Nissan to 15% from 43%, matching the size of Nissan's stake in Renault. That's been going on for a while now, but that seems to be a done deal. But also with that deal, Nissan is supposed to be investing in Renault's Ampere EV business. And while Nissan sees continued savings and continuing to work with Renault, it has no plan to provide engineering support to Ampere. And this is good news for Nissan as well. They have no plans to provide its e-Power hybrid technology to a gasoline powertrain focused joint venture between Renault and Chinese Geely and Saudi Aramco. Yes, I forgot Saudi Aramco Oil bought into the Geely and Renault internal combustion engine spinoff. Nissan wants absolutely nothing to do with that. They don't want to give their intellectual properties for internal combustion engines and hybrids over to the Chinese and the Saudis as well. They want to keep it at least in their control. And one of the sources is saying Renault benefits from having Nissan as a partner. But when you flip that, Nissan really doesn't see the benefits of having Renault around anymore. And the restrictions from Renault are gone and they can move freely now. And I hope they continue to move more freely away from Renault. At this point, it doesn't seem like Renault has anything in the interest of Nissan at their forefront. However, they will plan on projects together in India and Latin America. And when I think of those markets, I think internal combustion engine markets, absolutely. But their investment in Ampere would strengthen Nissan in Europe and accelerate new business. So they feel like they need that for the European market. It doesn't do them a whole lot of good for the United States market. Renault is not here to begin with, even though they're talking about bringing their, I think it's their Alpine brand over here. But Nissan has no problem producing EVs here stateside by 2025. They'll be producing Infiniti and Nissan sedans. And the year later, they'll be producing Infiniti and Nissan crossovers out of their Mississippi plant. Wow. Okay. Also in these rebalancing talks, Nissan wants to protect its own technology. Obviously, we just mentioned that as they don't want to sell any of their e-Power technology to Geely or Saudi's Aramco. But they're saying some of the technology that Nissan wants to protect is its work on solid-state batteries. They do not want to give that to Renault. And they want to also keep their e-Power technology to themselves, like we mentioned earlier. And some executives say Alliance talks' best outcome would have been a 0% equity tie-up, a goal that was unreachable but floated to drive home the point that Nissan needed to move on its own. So it's 15%. Nissan is still stuck with Renault. They want a friends with benefits sort of relationship, and they don't have that. They don't want to be tied to them through equity. They just want to have the benefits of sharing technology together, but only the technologies that they want to share together. And when you have equity tie into each other, it makes things really, really messy if you don't have 100% giving from each side. So it's a marriage that is falling apart before our eyes, Renault and Nissan. However, Nissan is in a better position than ever to have a voice. And this is a lot of fun for me to talk about because I get excited of where Nissan could be going without being held back or redirected by Renault. And shares of Nissan are up 17% so far this year, pushing them on track. And some comical news to finish up. We're at KTV.com. Hyundai and AAA are helping customers of targeted drivers by thieves. We know that the theft rate of Hyundais and Kias are about double of any other car in the industry. And since the social media TikTok craze of being able to steal these cars with a USB charging, like a USB-A charger, insurance companies are dropping them. They don't want to insure any Hyundai or Kia in those model years that have turnkey ignition because it's only affecting cars with turnkey ignition. And AAA and Hyundai have come out and said, hey, we're going to pick up insurance for these models that are affected by these thefts. Now, Hyundai is also updating the software with an ignition kill feature, which it should come with from the factory because they said 96% of automakers in these model years already have ignition kill switches, which the more I say that, the more I think of kill switch engage, if you guys remember that. These software updates still require, because they're not over the air, right? They're going to have to take them to the dealer, and how many of these people are going to be taking their cars to the dealer to get them software updated? If it's such a huge risk of getting stolen, maybe that's some incentive to head back to the dealer to get your car serviced. All right, but I'm going to end it there. Thank you guys. If you're excited for the Type S, more specifically the Integra Type S and Chiaki's journey, smash the like button and make sure you subscribe because I will be driving the Type S in June. Well, more specifically the Integra Type S, but that's the only Type S in my mind right now. Even though the TLX Type S, it's okay. It's held back, as many of you guys know, by its weight. And then the MDX Type S is amazing. I love that vehicle. It looks great, performs really, really well, and it's great power for the streets. And then this thing is going to be an absolute hoot. I think it's going to be the more attainable Type R without looking as racer boy with a huge wing on the back like the Type R. But I'm super excited for it. I think it looks amazing. It looks even better than the already good looking Integra, especially in the A-Spec trim, but like this is just going to be so much fun. But I got to cut it down. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day and peace.